Ghost Cult Magazine welcomes in Laura from Burning Witches. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm all good. It's
Awesome.
Friday here, it's weekend, so
It's starting to feel like I don't want to say we're through the worst of everything, but it is starting to feel like slightly back to normal. At least here for me. I hope it's the same for you. Like, oh yeah, Friday, the weekend. It's not like the same Monday, Monday, Monday.
yeah, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you have to when you go to shops different than supermarkets. You have to actually or grocery shops. You actually have to reserve a spot to go there, and the gyms are still closed. And it's I mean, it's to be honest, I'm a bit still I'm getting a bit sad about it. And for me, it's now it should be over. Yeah, and hopefully it's going to be soon. I know my dad is now vaccinated, so they started with the old people, and let's see how soon they will be done because they're slightly slow, I think. But
Of course. And I certainly hope you, the whole band, all your friends and peers and crew, I hope everybody is well and safe and you didn't
yeah, yeah.
lose anybody personally.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And I know, what a crazy time. I'm sure this has probably been in your career one of the longest periods of time where you were not on the road. Like you usually tour a lot, right? So this is crazy.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, because it's usually also the thing that I really look forward to do, and that's what makes it a bit sad, of course. But instead of that, we wrote another album, so that's at least also pretty cool. The next best thing, I guess. So.
Right? Stay productive and creative. That's what we tried to do here. It seems like a lot of bands have tried to do the same thing. And I'm so excited for people to hear this new record. I have gotten, luckily, to hear the record, The Witch of the North, and
Hmm.
so exciting.
Nice.
Where
Yeah.
to begin? I just wanted to talk about unpacking this record a little bit. It doesn't
Hmm.
feel like a strictly concept record, but it could be. It's really tied together very well from song to song.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it is. We did pick a theme, but also some songs, there was just this one because Romana always sends me the songs and she also sent me the ID, Witch of the North. So all the songs are kind of built around this Norse mythology now, mostly. But when there are, I got one song sent to me and it just, to me, sounded like this classic metal hymn. And I was like, yeah, what am I to do? Let's just make it a metal hymn. You know what I mean? So that one is not, it's a bit different, but I think it's okay also because, um, yeah, we also have all the traditions that we do every album. We also have them on there again, and I think it's fun for everyone to have a bit of diversity always. So
Right on. Yeah, it's important to keep it interesting, not just for the fans, but for yourself. You want to keep growing and being, evolving as an artist.
yeah,
Um,
also, and that's what the team really helped for, I think. So you can kind of like create focus your creativity a little bit different than normally. And but it's still, of course, it still feels like Burning Witches. It's not like we changed into a folk metal band. But it is definitely, I think that the most cool thing that we chose to do that is that we chose to do a little bit more of these epic stories. And we have one extra intro, and this kind of like makes you really drawn into this vibe of these, old Norse cultures. Throughout the album. I think that's nice about this one.
it's very interesting about how through history witches and the notion of witches went from being this very positive, healing, helping naturalist thing to being like this persecuted, scary, evil thing. And I'm sure it has to do with things that are a lot deeper than we want to talk about today, like religion and sexism and things throughout history. But it's really
Yeah, I
interesting
mean,
to me.
if you want to keep it simple, I mean, I got brought up Christian, and I know there are a lot of well-known sentences in the Bible saying that magic and looking into the future, basically everything witches do, are just not good. So that's basically why, of course. Yeah, it's
Right.
just simple. It's just a culture that was taking over, people's lives at that moment. A
Right.
religion, a culture. Yeah.
And then of course you have parallels to today, not necessarily about witches, but you know there's so much. It's to me, I've been around heavy metal music a lot of my life, and to me the idea of a woman in heavy metal is not a novelty anymore, and it shouldn't be like, oh wow, a whole
Mm,
band of women, or oh wow, a woman
mm.
singer, or I
It still
personally,
stands out.
I know, I mean, like,
It's still
good
it's
and
still it's
bad.
rare, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
But
because
I,
yeah,
I,
but
I get what you mean. Yeah.
and it's the same thing. I've never been a fan as a journalist. I've never been a fan of the idea of female fronted band, because are all the other bands male fronted bands, or
Yeah.
non
It's not really a
non
genre.
binary
Yeah.
a non binary person would say, oh, I'm a non
Yeah.
binary fronted band
No,
person.
exactly. Yeah, it's more like a thing for photographers or something. I don't know. There are
Right.
always so many
Right.
photographers.
And it's lazy. Let's just call it what it is. It's just lazy. So bands are
A little
bands.
bit.
You happen to be a fantastic woman singer, just like all the great men singers. And it's all, to me, Burning Witches, Halloween, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, all the same to me. Like,
Yeah.
let's just take music for what it is. But it's
Yeah. Let's
interesting to
just.
me. It's
Yeah.
interesting to me. And it's interesting against this backdrop of the band Burning Witches and this Witch of the North album that talks about persecution and these themes of overcoming oppression and things like that, which are very heavy metal themes,
Yes.
intrinsically.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, fun times. And your band has been a great flag bearer for heavy metal, modern traditional heavy metal that I love. But there's also other
Cool.
things. There's thrash. You got, I mean, like like you joked about making a folk metal album, but you could do a folk metal song. I don't think it would be super out of left field if you had a folk like influence song or two. I don't think it would be so bad.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are little influences, I think, in the intros now. You know.
Everybody likes that stuff. All the cool harps and lutes and lyres and ancient instruments are making a
Oh
big
yeah.
comeback.
I really love that. To be honest, I love all kinds of folk inspired stuff. Um, I listened a lot to Elevati, to the really early albums. They were totally, super folky. I love that. Yeah, there's so many good bands. I don't know if you ever heard of Whispered. It's a little bit more death metal also, but also really cool. But they're actually from Finland, but they really use all the Japanese or Chinese stuff or something.
Nice.
Didn't really look into it in detail, but that kind of stuff. I'm always having fun, and I love the Who or the Who. I don't know how to pronounce it,
Yes.
but from Mongolian stuff. That's so. There's a few songs that have a really good production, and if you have a good sound system, please go listen to their hits like the Who, HU basically. Yeah, it's wow, really
Yeah.
cool to listen to. Yeah. Anyway.
They are fantastic, and I'm a big fan. Yeah, that's awesome. I wanted to ask a little bit more about the album. Obviously, like we said, you want to try to grow and change, and it's been such a crazy time. Like normally, like I said, you would be on tour. You would have been supporting the last album with a world tour, probably festivals. So in the
Yeah.
meantime, if you weren't going to be writing and recording, what is your typical week or day like? Where do you practice every day singing? Do you warm up? Do you relax? What are you doing these days?
Okay, well, usually how it goes, I go to bed in the evening. I think tomorrow is going to be a productive day. Then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, first coffee, and then I start up slowly. And then I try to be productive. Um, I read my email, and then maybe I'm going to start singing classes. Maybe I'm going to do something for my YouTube or Patreon, or if I need more money, I'm going outside doing door-to-door sales. And this is basically my week at the moment. I kind of choose between those things.
Nice. It's good that you can stay in between recording. You can stay productive and still
Yeah,
do
I,
some
I mean
music.
the good thing is indeed, yeah, I mean the good thing is that I can choose because okay, apart from maybe really needing more money, so I have to do something I'm kind of only do for the money, um, but yeah, I'm doing it all freelance now, and that is really ideal for me.
Nice. I noticed in terms of making money that suddenly Flight of the Valkyries is suddenly the most popular song the band has had on streaming, which, for what it's worth, I still love albums and I like to listen to a vinyl and I like to buy a CD. But I think streaming's cool to get awareness, and certainly the profile of the band has really increased the last few years. And this new single is awesome and helping that.
Cool. I didn't even know like that. It's at the moment it's on top or something of the list or.
Yep, it's like the one of the top songs from the band now, which is cool. It's very
Ah,
cool
yeah. Cool.
and helps promote the record. Of course, pre-orders are out now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
very. It's always interesting to me
Yeah.
because like the cycle of an album, even though we've gone through this turmoil in the world and our whole industry is down and these things are not
Yeah.
normal, but the certain things have stayed the same, like the process, putting out a record, making videos. So how did you guys approach kind of, this album's coming soon. How did you promote, like approach promotion with the label to kind of keep it the same?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't, you probably can't do a lot of gigs, so you kind of do everything else you can do. So of course, interviews. Maybe we're going to do a live stream, and at least we're going to do something special for the release. But we have to still kind of decide what it's going to be exactly. We're kind of figuring it out right now because we first focused on recording a really cool video clip in Poland also. So of course also putting the clips out there is part of it. And yeah, everything you can do except playing live. Yeah.
As a singer and a person who has done gigs in small clubs and huge festivals, you stand in front of people and sing for a living. So do you
Yeah.
think you will be
Yeah.
comfortable getting in front of a crowd, small or big, in the near future?
When I'm comfortable. Ooh. Um well, I'm most comfortable actually like if you're doing a tour and the first few gigs are always they're good and it's fun because you're finally on stage again most of the time a tour starts. There was a break before that, you know what I mean? So it's fun of course. But you have to focus a bit more because it's a little bit more new opposed to when you're halfway the tour. So I really, really start to enjoy it more like after the third one. So like the fourth day or something, everything goes automatic a bit more, and you can make way more. It's for me, it gets easier to make contact with the audience, and really enjoy the moment. So I always love to be, a little bit into a tour. I love that the most.
Nice. And I know that some singers have trouble at the big festivals because you may need inner ear monitors, or there's, some technical issues. Maybe you're not hearing yourself through the monitors naturally like you would
It's
in a
more
small club.
difficult, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the festivals is just a great feeling because everyone that, in the audience feels like they're on holidays. So the atmosphere, that's the right word, like atmosphere
Mm,
or not?
yes. No.
How
Yes.
people feel anyway, the vibe is usually so nice, People are way more relaxed than on a weekday during a club gig. And yeah, that's what I do love about festivals though. Yeah, and but to be honest, it sometimes also seems to be, yeah, no, I think no, it is definitely because people are more relaxed, they have more time to relax, and that's, you can see that. I like that, yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah.
Do you hang out at festivals and also watch other bands, or do you just kind of do your gig and leave?
Oh, I definitely, if I have time, I definitely try. I can remember like the first 5 gigs that I did with Burning Witches, they were all festival gigs. And at some point we did Wacken, which was crazy because it was the 5th gig, ever with a new band. You know what I mean? For me, then new at least. Um, and it was also my birthday. It was really cool. And then you notice that it was actually a big crowd. So you try to go see a band, and I literally had to disguise myself to just run through because it was on the whole other side of the festival. So it also took me a while to get there, and I needed to be disguised so I could actually go fast, without people, hey, because if people are like, oh, I want to take a picture, I think it's so stupid to say no, I can't really say no. So I was like putting, it was pretty warm outside, but I put seriously my, autumn or spring jacket that kind of like, totally covered me up, and I ran across the fields.
That's awesome. What a
But
story.
that was, yeah, it was fun, but also a bit like, whoa, okay. So I try, yeah.
Sounds like the best birthday ever, maybe.
Yeah, it was really, really nice, and also, which what made it also cool, like, a lot of my friends from Eindhoven also went to Wacken, so I could meet my friends there, and yeah, also, it was so cool, yeah.
What is your first memory as a singer, or what was like the first thing in your life that inspired you to want to sing?
The first thing in my life. Actually, just good singers in general really inspired me. Like, not necessarily metal, but I could just be very impressed with someone singing very good. And of course, you have all these, programs really focused on singing, like idols. And I was kind of inspired by it too. I mean, I like metal music the most, but I was really impressed with just what they could do. So I was really interested in being able to also sing well. And I guess that's where my obsession comes from, to be able to do all kinds of things. I just like to figure it out and like to be improving and stuff like that. So also the reason probably why eventually I thought, you know what? I know it's probably going to be useless, but I'm just going to join Idols, you know what I mean? Just for fun. Just as a kind of a nostalgic thing, because I grew up watching it. But yeah, actually, when I was around 16 years old, I started listening to metal a lot because it came on the radio with the Temptation also. And like I think, I'm not sure if I already told you, maybe a previous interviewer. I have a few interviews today, but anyway, I went to the record shop, and next to the W of With the Temptation was Wasp, so that's where my love for also the old school stuff comes from. So it's really mixed, everything really melodic. I really like. So yeah, Whispered. You told me, so this is kind of the other spectrum for me. If it gets less melodic, it's not melodic enough for me anymore. But I do love also the hard stuff as long as melodic. Anyway, I started to actually play guitar, but I turned out to be a better singer in the end. Because I started playing and then I started singing along, and I kind of, my guitar skills were kind of lagging behind at some point. So then I focused just on singing.
Nice. I love Within Temptation, by the way. I love Sharon. I adore her.
Yeah, also very, very, yeah, really cool. How to say it, subjects also, you know what I mean? Like concepts, like the albums also always have a certain vibe. I really love that. Yeah.
Have you ever had
Yeah.
any thoughts about doing any other different kinds of singing, or do you get approached?
Uh, I mean, if the song asks for it, I think we kind of stick to what we're doing. I love the dynamics we chose for this album, so I'm hoping that kind of sticks. But I think what is most, I mean, in my opinion, what works very well for writing, and I think it's also one of the reasons why we easily could write another album, is to choose kind of a theme to write around, because it kind of is almost nice to have this smaller subject to write about for your creativity. Um, and I really enjoyed it. So you can really get into some kind of subject, and I actually thought about it already for next album because I liked it. Actually, really enjoyed this kind of writing. I already have, at least one. I think one good idea maybe for a next album. So I mean, who knows? We just change again, just these details. You know what I mean? To make it a bit more of an album in one direction again, like we did on Hexenhammer and this current album, The Witch of the North. So I like that personally, so maybe that happens. Maybe we do just like Dance with the Devil, we just go for whatever pops into our minds again. We'll see.
Nice. I do like a good concept album, and it does seem to help focus sometimes. But yeah, that's
For me,
awesome.
for me it definitely does. Yeah.
Nice. I'm so excited for people to hear this record. Just as one last note about the record, I love the artwork. The best, of course, this genre has some of the greatest artwork, and I love the fantasy artwork. This is definitely my favorite artwork from the band ever, and
Cool.
it's perfect with like the band around the witch.
I also really, yeah, he did a good job. The Claudio Bergaman did a really good job. Yeah.
A fantastic artist. I'll probably link him in the description of this video because I think more people need to check Claudio out. That's awesome. Did you get to give Claudio any notes or give him the music first?
Yeah, good question. I mean, we kind of built the whole album around The Witch of the North. I know that Smear contacted him for us. So what he actually told, I'm not entirely sure what he told. I will ask him. Normally he's pretty concise, he just tells a few sentences. And what we always want, by the way, we love this Manowar American style where the band is kind of portrayed like Marvel superheroes, so we kind of took that and of course the Witch of the North and snow. Maybe that's all he told. I mean, those were the most important things I know, but I'm not exactly sure what he told. But yeah, these are the things that we for certain wanted to be in there, and of course it's based on the mythology, so there it's not just Witch of the North. So I guess he understood that too, because he took the raven, right? So that's of course a bad omen, and we have the song there, Omen with the Raven. So that worked out pretty good. And But that was funny because we did the intros were like actually one of the last things that we did, and then you already put the raven there, so it was like, oh yeah, now we need a raven on there, you know. So it kind of he inspired us a little bit to put a raven sound on the on Omen.
Right on. Yeah, that's
So that's
awesome.
cool. But he totally nailed the vibe. I really love what he did.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Again, super cool to hang out with you, Laura. Thank you so much for making time today to chat with me and the listeners and viewers of Ghost Cult. The Witch of the
Yeah.
North is coming out soon on Nuclear Blast Records. We'll have all the links below for people to purchase it. Please stay safe, be well. I wish you the best, you and the whole band, and I hope the next time I see you, it's in person.
See you soon.